So today I'm giving you a quick review of these headlights. These are the LXLIGHT model 701, 702. Looks like mostly sold on eBay for about 80 bucks a pair. Just wanted to give you a good look at them, give you a review of how they work. I don't know if you can read the model down there on the bottom, not the most steady, but that's kind of what they look like when you unlock the Jeep. Get something like that. You see that the low beams kick on. That's obviously a feature in the Jeep, but it just happens to trigger on the lights as well. But there's your low beams. That's kind of what it looks like during the day. I'm not a huge fan of the appearance from the front end. I prefer a traditional light, but these were in the Jeep when we bought it. So anyway, they're, as I mentioned, they're available on eBay. Run around, looks like $70 to $80 depending. You know, and they do a pretty good job. I'm going to give you, and they just shut off there, of course. That's we're locked now. So what I'm going to do is give you a few things. I'll show you how the beam looks against our garage at night. Give you an idea of just kind of how the pattern lays out and what my thoughts are there. Then we're going to show you what they look like from the outside at night. Then we're going to flip it around and shine them across the road to give you a sense of kind of how the high beams perform and the difference between the low and the high beams. So it's only a few minutes long, but it's a good review. I hope you'll find it helpful. I know, as I've been shopping for lights, because we bought this vehicle for our daughter, I was reading a lot of reviews as I was contemplating before I picked this up whether or not I wanted to replace them. And there's not a lot of data out there on the cheaper Chinese headlights, so I thought this might help some people that were in the market and wanting to look at them. So anyway, stay tuned. A lot of information here, and here we go. So I wanted to give you a good idea of what these look like at night, and a real attribute to these lights and where I'm impressed. I've read that a lot of the aftermarket kind of cheapy knockoff headlamps, they don't have a good cutoff from low beam to high beam, and as a result you get bright lighted a lot. Tonight was my first night of driving this Jeep really at night with oncoming traffic, and I can tell you nobody bright lighted me, which indicated to me that obviously these things were either properly aimed or they have a good cutoff or some combination of the two. You can see as we cast on the end of my home, there's a very, very sharp cutoff right there. I'm probably parked, to give you a reference, I think I'm about 20 feet out from the house, just to give you an idea. And it looks to me like the left beam is a little lower aimed than the right. You can see a little drop off right in here. But generally speaking, I'm very impressed. The low beam light output is very good. It's hard to identify right here, but it actually shows the shoulder pretty well over here when you're driving. A little less so over there, and again, I think that's probably aim. And it looks to me like the left lamp is aimed slightly lower, so perhaps it's just casting a little more of a light on the ground. The deficiency that I see in these guys is the high beam. The high beam is not a giant jump up as it is with some of the other headlights that I've been exposed to, certainly. So, if there's an upside, I think it is that, by nature, we drive with low beams probably 95% of the time at night. And in that environment, I think these are very good. They're great value. However, if you're on rural roads driving at night a lot, then you might want to reconsider. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin the Jeep around and cast it sort of across the road and down my driveway to give you an idea of what the pattern looks like that way. So hang on just a second. We're going to flip it around and kind of wrap up our review. Just want to give you a quick look at what they look like on the front of the Jeep before we flip around and show it from the other side of the road. So that's what they look like there. So shown from a different vantage point, I just want to show you what these lights look like. More or less casting down the road. This is our driveway, but just want to show you, first off, obviously, you're looking here at the way our high beams look. Ignore the sweet Christmas display, but this is how the low beams are. As soon as this car passes, and I make sure there's no others coming, then I'm going to show you what the brights look like, and here's where I think the deficiency is. So there's bright. You can certainly see it lights up the guardrail across the road, but the pattern doesn't really cast very high. Low beam again, high beam. So I'd say the deficiency here is the high beam distance as opposed to the low. So at any rate, just want to show you that. You know, earlier in the video we showed you against the garage door to give you an idea of the low beam pattern, which I think is very good. So, you know, how would I rate these lights? I'd probably give them a 7 or 8 out of 10. Would I buy them? I maybe would spend a little more for better ones, but relative to all the Chinese knockoffs that are in the market and everything, you know, the reviews that I've read at $70 to $80 on Amazon, these guys are cheap. And certainly this beam is far better than what the original halogen headlamps would have been on this Jeep. So if you compare it to that, I think it's well worth getting involved in a pair of these for not a lot of money. So as always, please like, subscribe, comment below, share. It just helps me build the channel, put more content out there. If there's any questions you have, please post them below. I'll get right back to you, and I thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.